All right, day number 10 at the 27-day mobility challenge here at the Reprogram. We're into the double digits and we are at the end of our active mobility standards, okay? The end of these screening tools that you can use to see if you have optimal joint mobility and that you can express it in a global manner, okay? So I hope you've actually got some value from this. I hope you've learned a bit about your body, your possible risk to injury. If you are suffering pain, I hope that it may have opened up a few question marks, a few unexplored areas. And remember, these mobility templates are really good to work on, ideally, before you have to fork out money to see a physical therapist, or before you have to fork out money, God forbid that you have to undergo a major surgery just because this whole time you were missing essential range of motion that was not allowing your joints to perform healthily, in a healthy way. So across these last 5 days with the lower body drills, we have covered the global flexion in terms of the squat mechanics through the hips, the knees, the ankles. We have covered extension and external rotation in a pigeon pose or the active pigeon. We have covered the adductors, the abductors, and today we are going to hit the hamstring, okay? So this is a really good, quick way to assess, not only to see if you have adequate hamstring length, but to see if you can actually control it, whether you can actually fire up those hip flexors and that your nervous system or your brain recognizes that you have that range of motion there and you can control it, even at a low intensity, okay? The reason we need adequate hip flexion is, as you may have guessed right now, it really helps stave off back pain. When we miss hip flexion, what happens is that the lower back comes into play and tries to compensate for that missing range of motion, and then we end up having a bunch of joints, the lumbar spine, trying to do a job that they're not designed to do. They start taking load that the hip should be doing, but because the hip has run out of flexion, the lower back's doing the job for us. So we really want to make sure we have that adequate hamstring length. And a lot of you guys who stay at a desk, have been inactive for quite some time, will be short here, and it's something you really want to work on because it turn into something very debilitating. When we're missing hip flexion, we see things like sciatica, problems getting in and out of cars, lower back pain, hip pain, knee pain. So it really is, the posterior chain is a really essential component to your lower body, yes, but also a component to generating momentum efficiently, and like human gait, blah, blah, blah. So what we'll do is we're going to go into a movement called the heel raise, active heel raise, and I will show you that now. All right, so as you can see, I've got this contraption here. This is just a pull-up dip bar, combo bar that was in the gym. Obviously, I would do this on a door frame usually. It's a lot easier, and that's how you will do it at home. But for the purposes of demonstration, I'm using this bit of equipment for you. So what we want to do is make sure we have one leg trailing into the room of the door frame you're using, and the other foot is up against the wall. We want to make sure our butt cheek is right up against the door frame, okay? All right, so right up against the door frame, and that allows us to, not only by lying down do we take out the lumbar spine, so we don't risk any compensation from that area, but we're also focusing the movement on the hamstring and the posterior chain. Bit of calf fascial connections going through the calf muscle as well, and this is how it goes. So this is optimal hamstring mobility with the active control as well. So we're going to come down, and what I want you to do is you're going to slide your heel up the door frame until your leg is completely locked straight, okay? And then from here, you are going to pull the hip away. So we're activating this hip flexor, pulling the leg away just for a second, just to show that we have that active control of the hip flexor, and then you slide back down, all right? Obviously, you do this in the socks, it's a lot easier. Okay, slide up, straight leg, lift away, back down, slide back down. The whole time, we're keeping the butt cheek flat against the door, all right? Slide up, pull away, slide back down. Also, you'll notice when we actually slide up, we're keeping the toe dorsiflexed, so we're not pointing our toes or not relaxing them, we're dorsiflexing the foot, and that creates a bigger stretch on that sciatic nerve, the femoral nerve going straight through down the foot, and just gets a nice sort of flossing feeling as we're doing that. So it really aids. You might be lucky enough to unstick that nerve tunnel from some tissue there. And you're just going to floss it through, lift away. You might cramp in the hip flexors if you haven't got that mobility because your hamstrings will be fighting back against you. So be wary of that. Okay, and that is the active heel raise. All right, so I'm just going to flip out here. All right, so if it's a fail, what you'll see is you can barely get your legs straight. If it's another fail, you won't be able to dorsiflex the foot because the calves will be too tight. Another fail would be that as you try to lift that leg off the frame, you'll get a huge cramp in the hip flexor here, okay? And you just won't be able to hold it. Your leg will be shaking, and because your brain hasn't been used to activating that leg in that level of hip flexion, okay? Because the tension of the hamstring is trying to pull it back. Remember before in the upper body active drills, we mentioned reciprocal inhibition. Like if I want to bend the knee to contract the quad, my hamstring has to lengthen, okay? So if this one wants to shorten, that has to lengthen. And when you don't have that length, in order for this to fully shorten, you get this whole shaky thing going on and it all cramps here, okay? So that would be, if you can do it, great, but if you're doing it with a cramp, it is a pass, but it's something to keep an eye on, okay? Anyway, that is the end of the active drills. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to find out more about what I do and how I can help you with the Reprogram, www.thereprogramonline.com. Thanks for listening. Check this out. Hi there, I'm Andrew Graham, founder of the Reprogram Online, and if you're here, it's likely because you are feeling the frustration of a body that just isn't performing the way it used to. Maybe it's a nagging joint pain, the frequent injuries, or the simple truth that despite all your efforts, you're not seeing the results you desire. As a busy professional, I understand how valuable your time is. You want a body that not only performs well, but one that you can enjoy and that you know is capable of handling whatever life throws your way. Yet, finding the right path in today's fitness industry is like navigating an untamed jungle of misinformation, quick fixes, and empty promises, often leaving you frustrated or worse. That's why I created the Reprogram, a comprehensive training system designed to not only build a strong athletic physique, but to do it in a way that prioritizes injury prevention, joint health, and longevity. By merging concepts from physical therapy and strength and conditioning, the Reprogram targets and alleviates the very issues that are keeping you from moving forward. Starting with our free mobility assessment, we will identify these issues, as well as your potential risk of injury, and design your training program based on your results. You see, many people think they need more, but often what they really need is better. It's not about lifting the heaviest weight or doing endless reps. It's about focusing on what truly matters so that you can build a body that's not only aesthetic, but resilient. A body that works with you, not against you. The Reprogram is built for men who understand that their body is their most valuable asset and who refuse to let joint pain and past injury dictate their future. Using the 3-stage training system, you'll regain your mobility, correct muscle imbalances, and improve your posture, all with minimal equipment. I mean, imagine a life where you're not just managing pain, but actually eliminating it and getting stronger every day. Believe me, I understand the frustration of trying to stay active when your body seems to resist every step. But with the right approach, that frustration can quickly turn into fuel for change. The Reprogram is designed to respect your time and deliver results in a way that actually teaches you about your body. So, are you ready to break the cycle and unlock your potential? Then I invite you to start your journey today. Remember, this is about you, investing in your future, your health, your quality of life. Click the Get Started button to begin your free mobility assessment. I'm Andrew Graham, and I'm here to help you banish pain, optimize mobility, and unleash strength one step at a time. Let's get started.